Right, so I'm Paige, obviously. I studied in Cowan campus and graduated in 2019. I do wedding photography now. So I'm a very natural wedding photographer. I specialise in being behind the scenes mainly at a wedding, so if you're quite shy, that's good for you. For me, it was mainly advertising. Continue to advertise. I advertised while I was still studying, getting out there, putting my work out, doing model calls all the time to try and get a portfolio. I don't even know. Pixieset, if you use Pixieset, I use that for my website, my invoices, my contract, my contact information. People can see my reviews, everything like that, so everything's all in one place and you're able to just send them that link and that shows. But if you scroll down for me, I've obviously included a wee bit about myself. You don't need to do that, but I chose to do that so that they know who I am and the kind of person that I am. Down again. Down. I don't know what bit you're on. I'm in the middle of doing my website up, so it's not really finished. But what you seen up there was weddings, bridal boudoir and engagement shoots. Bridal boudoir is mainly just like a gift idea for the grooms or the brides to be on the morning of their weddings. I think on the website it's good to talk about what kind of images you like to capture on the day, so I'm very much a fly in the wall, that's what I would describe myself as. I'm not very posy, I'll do the traditional poses that you do with families, but all the couples and stuff are all just individual. Back down, please. Tie the Knot magazine, they reached out to me and asked if they could feature some of the weddings that I'd done because they were, that picture down there is what is in the magazine. So I've been in 3 of their magazines so far. Down again, sorry. No, that's not working anyway. But I'm really better with questions and I'll answer questions. I'm not really good at speaking. I'm like, I don't know what to say. I just went out there and done what I done and hopefully best, but you need to work hard for it. You need to be, you find your own niche, you find what it is that you want to do and that's what you follow. I did work in a studio, so if anyone isn't into weddings and they're actually want to do studio-based work, I was in a studio for 2 years prior to doing the wedding, so I do have a lot of experience with that as well, but just fire away, I'm better with questions than I'm speaking about myself.
We gathered some questions from
Paige, would you be able to describe the process of, just for anyone that's in a photograph or anything, would you be able to just describe what it's like from start to finish?
So mainly I do like a full day wedding photography which starts at the bridal prep, so you're turning up to capture pictures of the wedding dress, the shoes, all that kind of stuff and everything that's happening in the room throughout the morning of. After that you're kind of leaving the bride and you're going to capture the bride or the groom arriving, as well as all the guests. For me, I do this to get the guests' pictures before the picture process starts so that I've got them already. Sorry. Bride arriving, as she's arriving in a car, you're obviously outside for that. Then you're in the ceremony. Once I leave the ceremony, I always leave the couple for 15 minutes for people to congratulate them, so it's like a drinks reception bit. And then I'll capture like kind of behind the scene pictures of everyone cuddling and congratulating and stuff like that. So it is like a fly in the wall, you're not annoying them, you're not going right, come here and get your pictures done, so you're just kind of capturing that throughout the day. And then I'll always start with the bride and groom, let the families and stuff get their drinks on and party mode on. And the pictures are all just through the day. I don't like to do it all at the one time because I feel like they're away for their guests for a long time. So if it's light weather outside, I'll do like half the pictures after the meal so that it's scattered all day, kind of thing like that. And then you've also got the first dance and the cake cutting. Once you're finished there, then you leave, and that's it. What I do as well, if you're like me, hate it when somebody gets married and they put a mobile picture up. Hello, I'm just married, just to let you all know. I hate that, so I make a point of editing a bunch of pictures to send them that night, so they've got a picture the next morning to say, I'm married, here's my picture, here's my photographer, whatever like that. Some people do want like just a reception, like they don't want, they maybe went away to get married, so they're still doing their first dance, their cake cutting, things like that. But yeah, that's what I do. Also, you might be asked to do just a ceremony. Quite a lot of them are done at the K Park. It's just the ceremony and pictures afterwards. So that's a really short day, so that I class that as a half day. Then you've got a full day after that as well. But, yeah. Is this the question? So?
Can I ask you, Paige, as your transition from college, seems a long time ago now, what was it you left?
I graduated in 2019.
2019. So what happened when you left? What was your experience leaving college and being, kind of, I know your journey was, a single mum, for example,
Yeah. So my wee girl was 1. I put her into private nursery when I went to college. So when I went into HNC, I felt confident enough to start working out with college, so I'd just build up portfolio work. So when it got to me being in the HND, that's when I was going to like the Business Gateway, and they kind of spoke to me about premises and stuff like that. They help you kind of get that first year going. You can get grants and stuff if you've got like a studio in mind that you're wanting, or if there's equipment you need, stuff like that. There's always someone there to help with marketing, just all different stuff. But I was already working because I built that up while studying. So if you're out there and you're saying like, I'm a student but I've got a lot of experience and stuff, don't let people go, oh but you're a student. Like, it's fine. Like, if you feel really confident in your work and you believe that your work's really good, just advertise as yourself. Don't even say I'm a student. If you feel that your work is high up and it's really good, then just advertise as yourself. So that first year I actually got a premises in Kilmarnock and I was studio based for 2 years, doing families and pets and children, cake smashes, all that kind of thing. But all I can say is ask for the help that's there, because it is there for you. Don't feel like there's nothing out there that, if you go, I really want a studio, but look at the prices of it or whatever. But cause most of them will pay your first year for you. So just go and speak to them. There's Business Gateway and there is, I don't know what the other one's called. Business Gateway is where I went anyway, so if you can and ask them, you've got a coach, like a one-to-one, or if you're currently on like any benefits and stuff, they've got a self-employment scheme as well, where they'll help you run it for the first year. So like anything that you don't make, they'll add up for you if you're unable to work, if you're at college and stuff like that. At that as well, but yeah, that's how I started. Anyone? So I was a really nervous person. I always said I would never do weddings, ever. I'm like, no way can I go in there. What if I lose their pictures? What if I do this? But my mum got remarried and she asked me to do hers, so I did. And my dad got remarried, he asked me to do his. So I was never a bridesmaid, so don't let them do that. So yeah, then when I was posting their pictures, then it was friends that were maybe getting married and they were asking me, and then I just took a leap and I was like, I'm just gonna do it. So fully, it was really last year I started doing weddings like every week. So last year I done like 72 weddings last year, and I'm actually booked up to 2026 now. So just constantly putting your work out there. If you're on any bridal groups, it's good to advertise any work that you've done there. The likes of magazines, you can email pictures and just hope that they want to publish one. Once your picture's out there, you get contacted, obviously. But yeah, that's how I done it. And I make sure, I can still be quite a shy person, you can probably tell that when we're talking. But when I walk into a wedding, I just make sure I'm the first person heard. I just go, hi guys, and that's me, I'm there. It can be awkward, but I think you need to remind yourself that they need you there. Like, you're not there for that, they need you to be there to get all your pictures done. So I just try and be loud and confident, and that's it.
We've gathered a load of questions from students beforehand, so
Right.
I'll ask some of those. We'll kind of put my name of who's asked all these questions.
That's
I guess
okay.
one I think for wedding photography is what post-processing techniques have you found to be important for your wedding portfolio?
So, through experience of editing, if a bride has told me how long am I going to wait to get my pictures done, I think once I said 2 weeks, and that was like a big mistake. Because through that 2 weeks I had 2 other weddings, so I'm like, oh my god, I'll need to get all her pictures done and get started on the other 2. So now I say between 4 and 8 if it's a busy season. Some people will batch edit. I personally don't like to batch edit. I like to edit every picture individually because there's different lighting, there's a different mood, there's different everything. So batch editing is quicker, but you're not getting the same feel of each picture. So I do it individually. I don't Photoshop any of my work. I like to keep it as natural as I can. But yeah, that's what I do for editing.
So, fairly straightforward, simple one here is, what made you decide to be a photographer?
Well, I actually never knew I was going to be one. My wee girl was born and I kept taking pictures of her. As you do, as a new mum, you're obsessed, taking hundreds of pictures. But everyone kept asking who took them. And I was like, me? Why? Not all? I thought they were professional. So she was like 6 months old and I applied for college. It wasn't really a thing. I never knew I had the skill in me till I actually went. And I actually never got in. When the interview came, there was no spaces left. So I went home and a week later there was a cancellation. And when I went, I just became obsessed, like taking the pictures, like you just look at everything so differently. You would never say, oh, it's a beautiful sky today, unless you really love taking photos. So it was all the wee kind of things, but I just found a love for it. I found the love of lighting and like feelings that you get through taking pictures and stuff like that.
Was there a specific point where you're like that you went from amateur to pro, or was that sort of gradual?
I think me, more professionally, I think the weddings has made me feel more professional. When I was studio based and I was doing, it was a lot of friends and family, so it was like family shoots, and I felt like I was kind of stuck in the studio with nowhere to go. But that's because I like to be very minimal. Everything's very plain to me, so I wouldn't be creative with the studio. Whereas a lot of people can be, like they can do their Photoshop or they can do their props or anything like that, but that just wasn't for me. But I feel with weddings I'm able to express how I feel about the pictures that I'm taking.
We've got more here. Do we have any questions from the audience? Any ones from anyone here today?
Don't be shy, I'm standing up here myself.
Even if it's not wedding, John, it's not photography, so cover families, kids, and things like that.
What kind of system do you use to store your pictures and like archive them for like long term? So if in 4 years' time you want to look back on pictures you took last week, how do you store them? What's the system?
I just back everything up on my hard drive. I've no fancy anything, it's just all my pictures are on all the hard drives that I've got. Nothing's online or anything like that, it's all just, apart from the client galleries, they'll stay on there for a year and they've got instant access to their downloads, but all my raw files and stuff like that are all just kept on hard drives. That's it.
How do you do Instagram raw? Like, have you ever shot something and then looked back on it, or actually better love?
Yeah. So I'm Snap Happy as they call me, so it can be one of the thing, I've got 5 of them. out of that 5, there's maybe one that's maybe a wee bit out of focus. But when I first started, I felt like I rushed my pictures, so I was trying to do it really fast, but now I concentrate on what I'm doing, I take my time. So you always think, oh, I'm going to miss something, but I'd rather miss something and have a really good batch of pictures. So I did rush when I first started, like really quick. So by the time it was time to go home and edit, it could be a simple picture of a wee baby, and I'd have like 500 pictures because I was snap happy, just constantly pressing that shutter. And so just take your time and concentrate on where you're focusing and what you want to achieve with that picture. Just take your time and think about it.
Do you have a process? Do you prefer to give your clients the opportunity to download their pictures online, or do you print
Yeah.
ones and things like that? How do you deal with that?
When I was studio based, I did do like prints and like I would give them USBs and I would give them like all the kind of stuff that was there, but then I realised how time consuming it was. So now all mine is online. So on Pixieset, if you even want to sell prints, you can link up to Loxley or what's the other one? DS Colour Labs. So you can link all them on, and if they want to buy any prints, they can do it through that. But when I first started, I gave discs out, so I would burn discs with their pictures on it, and then like 2 months down the line they've lost it, or same with USBs, they've lost them. So with downloads, I've always got access to them, and they're still high resolution, and it's quicker for them and it's quicker for me. So yeah. Some people do ask for a personalised USB, which they get as well as the download, so they've got that wee stick as well. Did you have your hand up there? No? Did you have your... Aye. I did.
What kind of experience did you have with that? Is there a little bit less likely to be without it?
No, like, people think pets are really, really hard. I personally don't think they are. I have came across some that are just like, oh my god, that's going to bite me or something. But I've found, like, being outside with dogs, you're letting them be in their own kind of space and you can capture things. So people, like, it's not sitting there still and it's not doing this, but in between that person shouting at that dog or speaking to that dog, you've already got free pictures, like you've got it. I found that with pets, if it was studio based, like having a wee bag of treats or something to shake, and I made silly noises, it made them look at me like, what are you doing? So I really enjoyed doing pets. I still get some of my old clients asking me to take their dogs out, and if I'm really quiet I will. I'll be like, yeah, that's fine, let's go. But I think just be silly. Don't. I think the same with kids. See if they're like, just sit still, like, you're not going to get it. Just let them be themselves. That's it. Yes. I actually had 3 Bengals in my studio, and the best pictures I got was putting a towel over them and they were trying to get out because they felt safe, because something heavy was over them. So it's like wee ones that wee heads peeking out and stuff like that. But you do get it. I've actually had chickens, chicks, rabbits, guinea pigs, tortoise, mice, everything. So, and it was like a petting zoo, so they brought like everything, and it got to the point where I would run petting zoo days where they would come and the kids would come and hold them and got all their pictures taken and stuff. So that was really good. Pets are good. You get really good cracking pictures with pets. You're welcome. Anyone else?
I've got a question here, just from what was said before, saying, how do you cope with, if you're not, say, a confident person, you get quite anxious when you're dealing with people as part of your job? How do you cope with that? How do you overcome that?
Luckily for me, I will be quite loud. It's so weird, like me coming in here today, I'm like, oh god, this isn't what I expected. I think when I go to a wedding, I know what to expect. So what I do when it comes to weddings, I always offer a free engagement shoot. So that gives me a chance to work with a couple and I already know them and they've already seen me, so they know who I am. And if they don't want an engagement shoot, I'll always meet for a coffee and we'll go over their pictures, and then that way they're getting to know the kind of person I am and I'm getting to know the kind of person they are as well. With a big wedding, it is quite nerve-wracking, but I think if you go and you act like you're in charge, because you are, I think if you just go out there and go, right, this is what's happening, and you get it done. Like, I've been called bossy a few times, but I'm not bossy, I'm just trying to get stuff done. I think if you're kind of shying away in the corner, I felt worse with that, because people were looking at me as if, why is she not doing anything? What is she doing? So now I'm just constantly on the go, and I just get it all done. Like, I'll plan beforehand. Like, I'll always have a checklist of what pictures are happening at what time, and I'll say to them at the start, and then I just get it all done. So the majority of the time you see them coming to you going, right, what's next? Rather than me saying, right, let's go. I've had a few going, oh, what, pictures again? I'm like, yeah, let's go. But yeah, that's how I prepare myself.
One more question? Anything?
Anyone?
What lenses do you use?
I use a 200 to a 70, I use a 50, and I love an 85 for my portraits.
And how do you like carve that out? Like, do you take home with you to shoot?
Well, it depends how big a wedding like you're doing. Like, you know, you'll need certain lenses for certain pictures, but if it's just like a small wedding, I'll take 2 lenses and I'll take my camera and I'll just go and I don't like to use flash, so the only time I really use flash is for the first dance and the cake cutting. I'll try and use natural light as much as possible, but everyone's different. Everyone likes bright pictures, some people like moody pictures. It's just your preference, really. Is that me?
That's you.